all of me. Why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you?
Take my arms, I
I
want
want
to
to-
use them. Take my lips, I'll never
Use them.
your goodbye.
Love to me with eyes that cry. How can I go on, dear, without you? You take the part.
That one
was my heart.
So
why now take all of me? This is really not my song because I think it's too weak. I like Cry Me for a River.
All right, we're going to do a little Cry Me a River.
Yeah.
Now you say you love me. Well,
yes.
just to prove
Too
that
late.
you do, come on and cry me a river. Cry me a river.
Cry to death.
I cried a river over you. I cried a river over you.
I love this. So I think all of me, like maybe when you're 30 years old, for woman, when I'm 30 years old, if I broken relationship, I will cry. No, I will like feel broken heart, you know. Like, why not take all of me? I feel like I can't live. But now I'm 40, kind of like 40, you know, kind of near like I don't even want to move my butt. Close my door, bye.
Well, and when you're 70 like I am, then you can say, now you say you're sorry. And you can talk about crying a river. And that's how we met.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we met at
In Luther auction.
At Luther auction.
We know each other because antiques.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. And I still sell some antiques, like antique jewelry.
Oh, this is from what
That's
culture?
from the Middle East. It's Bedouin.
Middle
It's
East.
probably Yemenite.
Okay.
And the Jewish silversmiths in Yemen create very intricate, wonderful silver jewelry.
Ooh, the silver.
And that piece is old. And then,
How
of course,
old
I
is it?
have
How
all
old
this.
is this
Middle
one?
Eastern- Oh, I'd say that's probably 100 years old. And it was
Okay.
used, actually,
Yeah.
they would put it on their headdresses and, you know, tie it into their veils or their headpieces. Usually the women adorn themselves more, but I like to adorn myself, as you can tell, with
Yeah.
Mideastern jewelry.
Yes.
And I love to wear adornment because Western man does not do that. But in the centuries past, look at the Chinese, the men had all kinds of fabulous adornment. It makes me feel very royal and very strong when I wear my adornment.
Well, Chinese people kind of know wear jewelry too much.
Not now,
Not to know.
but the royals did, didn't they?
Right.
Yeah, and fabulous textiles. So I sell textiles from Africa, and then I sell
This is beads.
Native American
This
pieces.
is meeting American.
No, that's actually African. An
African.
piece, yes.
How old is this?
I'm not sure. That's probably
Is it
not
glass?
real old. It's clay. There's
Clay.
some clay, yes.
Clay. What does clay mean? Like, kind of glass.
No,
with-
not a glass. It's a clay that they sculpt, that they mold,
Oh.
and it has different colors. It's called millefiori, many flowers.
Okay.
This is a
But I
particularly subtle one in blacks and whites.
And this?
That's Egyptian. Well, that you could wear it on your head if you wanted, or you could have a Cleopatra neck piece.
Oh.
Like that.
Oh, that's kind of match you.
Yeah, well, everything matches me because I feel comfortable. Oscar Wilde used to say,
Yeah.
a man should dress as if it's the most important thing in the world and then act as if it doesn't matter at all. And so I like to dress myself. I take time to pick out the right earrings and so on and so forth, and then I just feel empowered. I feel like Agamemnon, the Greek king.
That's very nice. I know you go to China before. So how about we?
I have gone twice to China.
That is from how long ago?
Oh, the first time I went in 2000, I was a guest of the China in 2000. Yeah, 20 years ago. And I was a guest of the Chinese government. My friend Priscilla was teaching in Dalu for 4 years and then 13 other years in Taiwan. And so she invited me, and I was the Grand Marshal at the second annual Orange Blossom Festival.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is
it was
in what city?
Great. So I went to Shanghai, which I love. Well, first I went to Hong Kong. And I don't know if you, years ago in Hong Kong, the plane would land in between the apartment buildings. And as you were going through, you could look and see what people had on their dinner table, on their plates for dinner. We're right between the buildings. It was just amazing. Now they have built an extended airport somewhere else. But, and then I went up the Pearl River, and when I got to Dalu, I put on my purple suit and my brooch with many rhinestones, and a 30-piece brass band met us at the dock, and there were all these wonderful women with banners and their Chinese collared Mandarin dresses. And then as we went along from the pagodas were hanging fireworks. And so the band was playing, the ladies were all carrying flowers. I was paraded through the city as the firecrackers were going on everywhere. And then there was a huge
You sang
banquet.
the World War II.
Oh, and it was just so exciting. And there was a huge banquet, and you know the Chinese eat like nobody on the earth. They love food. There was a huge banquet room with 4 tables laden with every kind of food you could imagine. And it was really fun. I did a program at the university in Guangzhou.
In Guangzhou, okay.
And the students sang first, and they were doing classical Chinese music.
Okay.
And I had them go first, and the title of the program was Friends Through Music. So they sang all their classical music, and I got up and sang, oh, you got to have friends, yeah, 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 yeah. The feeling's oh so strong, oh, you got to have friends, la, 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 so on and so forth. So when they introduced me, it was all very formal, and the young lady in a Chinese headdress came out and did her, Ni hao, tan kuai, you know, with the voice that the Chinese use. Lorenzo Utera. And so instead of continuing the formality, because the president of the college had said, now you must sit still and behave, no walking around and making noise, and everybody was very stiff. And so instead of going up the stairs, I ran from my front seat and leapt onto the stage and started singing, and everybody relaxed. It was great fun.
Yeah.
And it was televised, and so then when I would go to a restaurant or whatever, it was so much fun because when I'd walk in the restaurant, people would stand up and clap. I loved being a star in China for a while. That was great. And then the second time I went was, I think, about 4 years later. And I went on a FAM tour, they call it, a familiarity tour. And Shanghai is wonderful. And in the old Charlie Chan movies, Shanghai was always sort of a secretive, rough kind of place. But it is so beautiful and modern, just gorgeous and clean as can be, and hundreds of bicycles rather than cars. 2004, this would have been, I think, too. And it was just really wonderful. I loved it.
So you love China. What do you think? What do you think West and East people? I mean, China and American, different for you?
Well, because I was the minority, like in Guangzhou, there were maybe 5, 6 other Caucasians there. I was with my daughter, and she has very long Titian red hair with lots of curls. And people, as you know, are very close in China because there's so many people. So turn your head. So they would be going up to her like this and looking at her hair. and she was very nervous by that. I love to be looked at. I have no compunction about being the center of attention. And everybody was handing me their babies to take pictures with. It was
in China,
very fun. And I
like,
just have a fun time.
take a picture with my baby.
Yeah. Walking on the street.
This is something different because in American, I really love baby. If I see baby, I just feel like, melt my heart right away.
Yes.
Now one time I kind of in children's hospital, see a little baby, I start play with them and hold. And the mother was really mad at me, you know, how to be careful with Chinese. But in China, you can just love baby, and the president will love to show baby.
Yes,
that's different.
I did not know that I would get along with Chinese people so well. And then I met you and all kinds of other people through you, and I just have an affinity for Chinese people and Chinese culture that I never had before. But it feels fun for me. I learned about 30 phrases, and one of the things on the street, when peddlers would come up, my friend taught me a phrase where I use the word mafan. Don't give me any mafan. No trouble.
No trouble.
No trouble.
Yeah, I have enough trouble.
So that was real fun. And speaking of babies, I have to show you a picture of my babies. I have 2 grandsons. Can you get that? That is...
That's gorgeous. That's so
Isn't he cute? Isn't he cute? Yeah. That is Emil.
Emil. Emil, that's a little one.
Yes, he turned 4.
4-year-old.
And then I have Leo, my first grandson.
Leo.
And let me find him. Well, I'll show you this picture of wait, okay, there.
That's Leo.
That's Leo over
How old
there.
are he now?
Now he's 6. He will soon be 7. And
They call you Pa.
They call me Pa. Pa, instead of Grandpa.
Yeah.
And Leo does all kinds of drawings and pictures and designs.
Artist.
Well, but always spacecraft. He has like a real propensity towards flying in space. He's always taking objects and flying through space with them. I think he'll be an astrophysicist, an engineer who designs. He doesn't want to fly them. He just wants to design them and create them. He loves Legos, of course.
Yeah.
And I will buy him a package of Legos where you're supposed to build something. And he builds it, and he pays attention to the manual that comes with it. And then he takes it apart and does his own creations. He said, "These are my creations, Pa." And he's got a whole table full of Legos that he has created into his own spacecraft.
Wow.
And they are the light of my life. I love being a grandpa.
Where he live now?
Well, they live in Charlotte, North Carolina, with my daughter, their mother, and her husband, my son-in-law.
South Carolina, where is
it's on the East Coast.
East Coast.
Yeah.
Okay. You have 2 daughters.
No, 1 daughter.
Just 1 daughter.
1 daughter, Alexis, and
Okay.
she has the 2 boys. I wanted more kids, but I didn't have them because, okay, do you want to know about my personal life?
Yeah, because I know, I kind of was afraid to ask you. I know you are gay, but how you have a baby?
Well, I'm not just gay.
But both.
Yes, I'm bisexual, and
Okay.
what that means, I don't know if I even like the word bisexual.
No, I want to know, but
There's fluidity in human beings. There's fluidity in me. It's the person, not the plumbing, that I fall in love with. So I was married to Alexis's mother.
when you find out you are like both. When you're young, or after you marry, or after
no,
divorce?
before I was married, I was always very honest with both my wives. I was married twice, and said, "Oh, by the way, this is my personhood. This is who I am. I love the goddess within me. I love my femininity. It doesn't bother me. It makes me feel strong.
Yeah.
And the duality of life is yin and yang.
Yin
You
and
know,
yang. Yin and yang together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about my
yourself.
personal life. And I had one long-term relationship with a man in between my marriages, and it's a different dynamic with women and with men as far as the relationship goes. But loving is the same when you love someone.
Right.
You love them.
But how in that time, in American, how people look at you different?
That was
Or
tough
you-
because I grew up in the 50s, which
Yeah.
was very polarized sexual identity. You know,
Yeah.
you were either John Wayne or Marilyn Monroe. So I was called sissy a lot, and that bullying was allowed much more than it is now. And I love the fact that, well, Pete Buttigieg just, ran for president. Young people really accept
Today.
each other,
Right,
yes,
yeah.
in a much more open-minded
Yes,
way.
yeah.
And that's a good thing because the Kinsey report, of course, has the bell curve. So there's people who are totally straight and there's people who are totally gay. And then the majority of people are somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And I think that people sometimes are afraid to
To
express
s-
themselves
yes.
or to realize that about themselves.
Yeah.
And people also have sort of misconceptions that being a gay person means you're promiscuous. But when you commit to a person, be they a wife or a husband, you're committed to that person. And it doesn't mean that every man I see, I want to
Yes.
bed.
Of course. Yes.
And that isn't true at all. And people have misconceptions about what people do in bed together, what men and women do in bed together. We won't go into that. But it's been a wonderful ride for me in life to be able to express my duality and to dress like this, to be a performer, be a singer, teach voice, be an actor. And now at the age of 70, I'm working with Theater 55, which is a company that has been in existence for a year. And we do musicals, and all the people in the show are over 55, and then some of them
In
are
Minneapolis
70.
here.
Yes, in Minneapolis.
Oh.
We have a show going on now. When you talk later, I'm going to go and get the little postcard. It's called You're in Town.
Okay.
It's an unfortunate title.
In what? Where? In what address?
It's at the Illusion Theater
Lutheran Theater.
on
Okay.
6th and Hennepin in the Cowles Center on the 8th floor. And it runs for 2 more weekends. We're doing this on March 4th. It will go till the 15th of March. We have Friday evening, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and Sunday afternoon performances.
I'm going one. I'm gonna go there.
All right.
I don't know if it's Friday or Saturday, but we see the time.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And I am so happy to, they give us a stipend, so I'm getting paid to sing, act, and dance.
I think
At
you're the
70,
I think you're the
there I
best,
am being
yeah.
a healthy senior dancing. I don't like to use the word senior. I like to say I'm advanced. I'm advanced in years. I'm of advanced
What's
age.
the advanced?
Advanced,
really mean?
moved forward.
Move
I
forward.
haven't become less as a senior. I have become more as a
Right,
senior.
right. Okay, we continue say that you married, and then why you only have one baby, one children, right?
Yeah,
We
I
go from there.
wanted more.
Yeah.
One of the reasons
You wanted more.
I did. And my first wife and I, we talked about having more children, but then this is getting really personal now.
Wanted no.
When I went to the hospital to visit her the day after I was there when the baby was born. That was so exciting. I remember it as if it was last week. And then I came the next day to visit my wife at the time and the baby, and she wasn't there. And I said, well, where is she? She's having a tubal ligation. Without telling me or discussing it. Not that she had to ask my permission, but that is something a couple should discuss.
Yes.
And the tubal ligation meant she wasn't going to have any more children, which was totally different than what we had talked about.
Okay.
So that was like a big red flag that went, uh-oh.
Yeah. That's it.
and she says, well, it's my body. And yes, it is, but at least you say to your husband, I'm thinking about doing this. You know, she was older than I was. She was 6 years older. You know, and then we should have had a discussion about it.
It's tough. Yeah.
Or I wanted to adopt children, and especially Down syndrome kids, because I used to work a lot with, we used to say retarded people. Now that's not a phrase that is acceptable, so developmentally disabled. And that's a lot of syllables to say. So you try it. Developmentally disabled.
That's too long for me. What that even means?
That means their development in different areas, their physical, mental development in different areas has some disabilities. And you have a child who's now disabled. Have you ever talked about that on this program?
No, I never.
Do you want to?
About Anya?
Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
We talk you. We don't talk Anya yet.
Well, but tell us what it's like to be a parent of a child who, when she was birthed, was in the range of regular development, physical and mental development, and then she developed a disability, and you're dealing with that now.
Yeah.
You want to tell us about that? Or is it too sad for you?
Too sad maybe.
Okay.
We talk good thing.
All right. All right. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, go ahead then. Ask me another question. We talked about music, and you were my voice student for a while. After we met at the auction house, I started teaching you and several of your friends.
Yeah, I remember I sing that song I really like. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to the one who lived there. He was one true love of mine.
Good for you.
Yeah, I like that song.
Well, now tell me, was it difficult having to sing in a language that was not your native language?
No, I think sing better. Sing better than we talk.
Ah, okay. Well, like hearing and understanding another language is easier than speaking it. Some people can read another language, a second language, better than they can speak it as well. But
Yeah.
what was the process of learning English for you?
For me, maybe maybe hear from my ear.
Ah, okay.
I have really sharp, like I can hear and talk in the same time. It's maybe different, maybe like between like 1 second after. So that is how
Now, your audience that sees this show, are they mainly English-speaking people or are they Chinese people?
English people.
Okay.
But sometimes I do Chinese because my English not very good.
It's fine.
It's
Fine.
not very,
I understand.
Sometimes
almost
I
everything
protect
you
like
say.
I know. I protect like I know. I go like,
Yeah. Well, that's
I lost.
half of life is just showing up and pretending you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's what it's like on stage too. As an actor, singer, and dancer, I don't know how to tap dance, but there's this little tap dance number that I'm a part of. And last weekend, the audience like broke into applause when we were doing our tap dance. It was like, oh my, I guess I did it.
Yes.
I pretend I looked like I knew what I was
Yeah,
doing.
when I watch people laugh, talk show, when people laugh, I laugh. Yeah, but I don't really know. Sometimes
You don't get the joke. Jokes are hard.
But
in
the
another
Louis C.K., I love his every single one.
Do you?
But I think somehow I kind of understand what he talk, but other people talk I don't really understand. But depends who talk.
Well, and jokes are hard
Joke.
to translate
Right.
into another language.
Yeah.
Humor in each culture
Sometimes
is very
my
different.
brain kind of want a translator, but if I want a translator, we have a problem because we lose all. But if just learn English, don't look the Chinese, just hear the English, I can get some.
Well, and it's difficult too. Extra difficulty is the alphabet, because we've got our 26 letters, and Chinese, of course, has a whole different set of writing. And how many letters are in the Chinese alphabet? It's a lot, isn't it?
How many letters? Maybe like we use very often, maybe about 5,000.
5,000,
Yeah,
as compared to 26 that we have in English.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
Well, if I born here, maybe I think English is kind of easy, and the jokes I think are more fun. Like for example, I married twice before.
you're on your third marriage? Or
Yeah.
you say-
So my first husband was divorced. Second husband he died, right?
And were they both Chinese men that you met in
no.
China?
One Chinese, one American.
Okay.
So when Jeff married once. Jeff's ex-husband, her name is Sue, and my two. So one time when we're fighting, we said, "I know why Sue leave you," and he said, "I know why Jason died." So when he said that, I started laughing so hard. I don't mad him at all. I just thought, "Oh, that's so funny." But when I said, "That's so funny." When I talked to my Chinese friend, I said, "You know what we said, what he said," and my Chinese friend kind of like, "No, that's not your fault." They don't get this joke. Yeah.
Well, and now with my second marriage to my wife, when I was with the man in my life, gay marriage was not allowed. And so I never thought in my lifetime that there would be legal gay marriage in this country.
Yeah.
So that
you mean
is
through that, right? That's his.
tremendously.
Oh, you are so happy that day.
Well, for the freedom that people
Yes,
have
yes.
to love who they want and
Yes.
to have it be legal and to reap the benefits, garner the benefits of being in a
Yes.
marriage, because there definitely are
Yeah.
economic and social benefits through that. My second wife is Ethiopian.
Oh, you said.
Yeah, and I like a woman with an accent, first of all.
What's that?
An accent when they speak.
Oh,
You
you
know?
do.
Yeah, I do. And so my first wife, after 43 years of divorce, doesn't speak to me still. She's a rather bitter person. But my second wife, my Ethiopian wife,
what do you
is a
think of
very
them?
nice person.
Yeah.
And I like her family. She has like 12 brothers and sisters, and they're wonderful. One of the reasons I married her is because
Yeah.
I wanted to be married into this big family.
Yeah, you love her family.
Oh, and they were great. And still when we see each other, they're always kissing, and it's
Yeah.
three times.
Like
Three
that.
times.
Okay,
on each
3
cheek.
times.
Yeah, and she's a
That's
very
obvious.
nice, gentle woman, and she has a daughter from her first marriage who's a very nice person, so we get along great. So I've realized, okay, it's not me that's the problem after the divorce. It's the other person who's not going to talk to me. She's the problem. But anyway, so if you can stay friends and be cognizant of the effect
Yeah.
that a divorce has on children, I think it's a much better thing.
Yes. So you still talk to her? You guys still friend?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
That's
We're very
nice.
helpful to each other. And, we get busy in our lives, move on and
Yes.
do other things.
Yes.
But she's a really nice person, and I have nice feelings about her, and we have mutual respect for each other.
You meet a lot of Chinese. And what do you think of Chinese woman? Do you have a Chinese woman before?
No, I have not been involved with an Asian person. I have had a somewhat short-term relationship with a Native American man and with both men and women who are African American. But I have not had an intimate relationship with a Asian person.
How you find out you tell me first time you kind of fall in love with a boy, like a man, I mean. Like your friend or
Okay.
how that happened?
Yeah, well, let me think about that. Well, okay, so I had a very typical gay family in the sense that my mother was very smothering and on top of me, and my dad was an absentee dad. He was a bartender, so he'd work from 4 in the afternoon till 2 in the morning. And of course, I'd come home from school at 3, and then he'd be out the door soon. So I don't know, there's still a question, is it nurture or nature? Is there some biochemical disposition
Nature, maybe.
to it, or is it a learned thing? And I was very involved. My grandmother was the dear love of my life, and I spent a lot of time with her. She was a sweet woman who always had little earrings, and I would kneel at her, or sit at her knee, and she would tell me stories of the old country. She's from Poland. And so I spent a lot of time with her, and then they were bootleggers, my grandparents in the 20s, and then eventually they had a liquor store, and so I would go after school every day and help Grandma in the liquor store, because my grandpa was not a big worker. He liked to have a lot of fun, and so he would go out fishing and hunting and going to play cards and so on and so forth, and he'd take my cousin, Jimmy, and Jimmy was Grandpa's favorite,
Yeah.
and I was Grandma's favorite. So I'd spend the afternoon with Grandma. We'd talk, and I'd carry the beer cases because she was a tiny woman, and then I'd climb up the ladder and get the bottle of liqueur that somebody wanted from the top shelf. And so my world was very feminine focused. And I had my sister, my mother, and my grandmother. And in fact, when I was little, my sister is 8 years older than I am, so when I was born, and as I grew up, she made me her little living doll. So she would put her little bridesmaid's dresses on me and make up my face and say, okay, do your lips like that. And she'd put on lipstick and this and that. So they feminized me in a lot of ways. And then when I got to school, was teased for being a sissy kid. I was sort of angry at them that they did not really train me to be a boy. And my father was not involved. He never once threw a ball to me in the backyard. He didn't like sports himself that much.
Yeah.
So, and then as I grew up and realized that I liked the God and the goddess within me, I really blessed them and thanked them for creating that duality, the yin and the yang, within me.
I think in India have some Buddhist, have some Buddha. It's like a half woman, half man.
Who's androgynous?
I think they have that. I see it once. Yeah.
Well, in the Native American society too, and in their spirituality, they have what they call two-spirited people. So this has always been a part of humanity since the beginning
have people,
of
maybe,
yes, yes, yeah. And so it's nice that we have gotten away from the polarity of the 50s, and now have a whole new outlook about transgender, and there's all these names. Like there's one term, CIS, cis. I don't even know what that means, but there's all kinds of terms that now deal with people who are free to be more of who they are.
Yeah, I think people should know free. What does life mean to you? For me, like my age right now, like before, something important in my life, my half life, and today it doesn't feel important anymore, after all. I kind of feel like, okay, here the spirit, here the pregnant woman. And the spirit want to come to this world, have some fun or whatever, maybe they want, that's me. And go to maybe choose this woman, my mother, and then
So you think the spirit chooses the parents
Yeah.
that they will have?
And it's not really have like exactly what's wrong, what's right. So because everybody's life is just one time, and after you play, you go back. Kind of like you travel, you travel. You have all kind of different trouble and fun, whatever. Just you experience, right? And you come back. Like you buy ticket to go to Disney World, and if you can play long day or short day, some people die young, some people die old. It's not really have time like really time, because when you dream, you can have a really long dream, but maybe in just 5 minutes.
Or less.
Yeah, or less.
Well, I have to tell you, I plan on having a long life this go around.
I want to hear from
Because
you.
my grandson Leo, he's such a wonderful person. When he was 5, almost 6, and I had turned 70, he called me for my birthday, and he said his father is Israeli, and my first wife is Jewish, so my daughter is living her life as a Jewish woman, and they're raising the boys Jewish. I was raised Catholic, but I think Judaism is wonderful, and I certainly encourage them to be who they want to be in their family. So Hashem means the name.
Yeah.
So they don't ever say the name of God; they will call him the name. So
Oh,
anyway, Leo,
what's the name? Again?
Hashem.
Hashem. Okay.
So
Jewish.
Leo said to me, "Pa, how old are you?" I said, "I am 7 units of 10, 70." He said, "Oh, wow, Pa, I'm going to ask Hashem to give you 100 years." He said, "You know, I have my Abba, that's his dad, but you are my Pa, and I'm going to tell Hashem that you deserve more than 100 years."
Oh.
Isn't that wonderful for
I
a
think
5-year-old to
yeah,
say
yes.
to his grandfather
Uh-huh.
on his birthday, you know? So I'm planning to live at least to 101.
At least the 100 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And in the Polish community, there would be, I remember with my grandmother at birthdays, they would sing "Sto lat," which is 100 years, 100 years. And so we would, wish somebody to have 100 years. So I'm planning on that. I'm staying very healthy.
Yeah.
I'm moving. I do intermittent fasting now. Even before I knew what it was or became popular, I started doing that to sort of cleanse my body and not bog myself down with lots of food. So I will go sometimes 24 hours without eating, drinking a lot of liquid.
It's difficult.
Not after a while. After a while, your stomach sort of shrinks, and hunger doesn't have the same kind of ever-present thing within your body.
But if you drink water all the time, you're not gonna feel hungry, but you feel like no energy stuff.
No, I feel energy, and I drink vitamin water sometimes, or I'll have protein drinks,
Okay, yeah.
or a lot of juice. And the more you do, the more you can do.
And you feel great.
Yeah. In
After.
fact, I feel much better going up and down stairs and moving around without a giant belly, and without full of sugar and all
Right.
that stuff.
How
that
often
Americans
you do that?
eat. Oh, several times a week, or maybe every day. Like, okay, I think I ate at 10 o'clock
Yeah.
last night, and it is now, it's now 6:30. So I
You
haven't
eat one
had,
time a day. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes,
So I ate last at 10 p.m. and now it's 6:30 the next
Not
day,
the
and I
sweet
haven't
meal
eaten
for-
anything. I have had vitamin water and water.
I
Maybe
know,
you'll
that's
feed me when we're done with this.
Yeah, maybe. So in American, we feel like I feel like we eat so much sugar in here.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of sugar. But in China,
And salted stuff.
we use a lot of salt. That's not good too. I don't think that's not
And
good.
MSG.
What's MSG mean?
It's some kind of chemical that I guess is in Chinese food, at least American Chinese food.
Oh, yeah, that's not good. And in American, people eat dinner is a big thing. Dinner, that's not good. We say if you eat before 12, most people, the rich people like that. The second after before 3, if you eat like a middle, and if after 9, kind of like homeless. I don't know. My husband and me, we eat at night. I feel like we sleep too late. And sometimes after 10 o'clock, I feel, I need to cook some noodles, feeding myself and
that's
go
not
to
a
bed.
good idea.
I know, that's good. That's not good. Probably I need to try that.
Yeah, and at first you do feel hungry, but I had a minor surgery, and so I couldn't eat for a while last May, of 2018. And so I got used to being hungry and having to limit myself and do fasting because of the pre-surgery, and then afterward not wanting to eat as much. And then as you get older,
you don't need too much food.
No, and it's wise to not consume as much because your metabolism is slower, and so it will all go to the parts of your body you don't want it to go to. So, and I drink a lot of tea.
A lot of tea?
Yeah.
Well, after you drink a lot of tea, you can sleep after 3 o'clock?
Yeah, because I'll do green tea or herbal tea.
Oh. If I drink tea or coffee after 12 o'clock, so pretty sure no sleep like all night, 3 o'clock.
Coffee
maybe.
for me
Yeah.
is too much caffeine and keeps me awake. Or chocolate. There's a lot of caffeine or something that keeps me awake with chocolate. So I don't consume that after a certain hour.
What do you think were the most important things in life, like most important?
Well, that's a big question.
No, not that
Doing what you love.
doing what you love, not what you need, right?
Oh, well, I'm not always good at
Are
that.
you work for something? I mean, so this is stuff you love to do.
Yeah,
you know.
I love to buy, make,
That is great.
wear, and sell jewelry.
Yeah, that's great
and
because your
antiques.
hobby become your income. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
But so many people can't do that. People should.
Well, everybody's got to have some kind of artistry
Right.
that they do in their life, whether it be cooking,
Yeah.
writing poetry, or books, as you did. Have you talked on this program about your book?
Not yet. 12 at 12. So March 12 we talk about
Oh,
my book,
okay,
but have
good.
to be all Chinese people because now only Chinese people read.
Yeah, because it's in
So
Chinese.
my reader with me, and we talk. People ask questions, I answer that stuff.
But so getting back to doing what you love, yeah, if you can work it out. I worked for 23 years for the Minneapolis Park Board, and I worked in parks at Loring Park and Lake Hiawatha Park and Whittier Park, and
You enjoy?
I loved it.
Good.
Well, can you imagine? There I was in the heart of the city with the Loring Pond, and there were all those special events that I could create. And I worked a lot with adults besides kids. And then at Lake Nokomis, my office overlooked the beautiful lake. I loved it. And it was people that I was
You
dealing
probably
with.
hit more than 100.
I
you
think so.
ate,
I
I
think
think.
so. I like people. I
Yeah,
like
and you laugh
going out
a lot,
I
and you
do.
sing, and it
Well,
never
and
become
that's
a
it.
depression
I
stuff.
move every day a
Yeah,
lot. I'm
yeah.
up and down the stairs. I dance. I go out dancing still several times a week. And singing is real important to me. You know, we started with a song, and
Yeah.
I like being a vocal coach and teaching voice, and that fills my heart as well. I like teaching as much as I do performing. And I direct kids in plays. So being around young people
Yeah.
is a very good thing.
Oh,
I'm sorry, but being around white 70-year-old
Yeah.
Caucasian Minnesotan
yeah,
men,
yeah.
I don't spend too much time with them. It can get a little boring and unenergetic. I'm like really energetic. And so being with kids, being with younger people, is really fun. Or a lot of times I have in my life taken care of older people, and then it makes me feel
Sad.
useful.
Yeah.
And
I think it have to be like very special people do that kind of work. I tried once, and I see the picture and this guy and played a violin and so handsome, and now look like, I don't want to eat. That make me sad. So I kind of do that kind of job, the nurse I tried to be before. So yes, I think right. Some special people, I'm too sensitive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but what I do is I use empathy, and I try to reach into their heart and get them a little excited. I'll sing to
You
people.
can do that, yes.
And then and working with kids, I direct plays with 4th through 8th graders through Homeward Bound Theater Company, and I love doing that as much as I love acting. I love getting kids excited because and being a teacher, you call me sometimes teacher.
Teacher, yeah.
And to me, being a teacher is not about I know, I'm up here, you're down there, you listen, you absorb what I say. It's about self-esteem. With everybody, I'm teaching self-esteem. If you feel good after you sing Scarborough Fair,
Yeah.
that's the thing that I bring for you to learn.
Yeah, I sing
to
a lot.
Feel, have
That's
a
the only
good
American
self-image.
song I can sing. Oh no, second. All of me and that one.
And you feel good about that.
Yeah.
So as a teacher,
I
I'm
like to show off.
successful. Yeah, well, and some of us are a little more extroverted than others. You're very extroverted. I know sometimes you've come to shows that I've done at Honey,
Yeah.
which is a little club in Northeast Minneapolis, and you have sung Chinese songs, and people have loved it.
Oh, right. I love singing Chinese traditional song. Should I sing one?
Yeah.
That's me.
I'm going to get up for a second, go get my brochure while you
Oh,
sing
yeah.
this song.
Bring that, and you have to show this too. We have 10 minutes, and you have to show
We
this
have 10
too.
more minutes.
How about the? Okay.
We were wondering
We'll
what
come
we were
back.
going to talk about. You wanted me to write questions down for you. You're doing fine. We're having a conversation. And
Well,
getting,
after you come back.
all right.
Okay.
Sing it, Chinese song.
OK。山青青，水碧碧，高山流水云一声声如醉如痴如悲啼，叹的是人生难得与知己，千古知音最难觅。
You know what? I'm
Yeah.
getting a crick in my neck. Let's switch chairs so I have to look
Yeah.
this way.
Okay, you look this way.
Now, have we even introduced ourselves? Does everybody know
Oh,
who
we
are?
forgot. We forgot to
Yeah.
introduce ourselves. So,
Let
what's
me
your
get
name
my
again? What's your name again?
I'm Lawrence Hutera.
Lawrence Hutera from
So-
Minneapolis, Minnesota. Big singer. And I'm Maggie, or I'm author. I know I'm like an antique dealer, author, and all kind of different stuff.
Now I have my mic on. Maybe they didn't hear me before, but
Okay.
now they will. You can edit all that stuff. All right, great. So this is the postcard about you're in town.
Okay, this postcard. Can they see?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Okay.
showing.
The address, February 28, March 15. The location is
Illusion Theater at the Cowell Center in
I need to take
downtown
a one.
Minneapolis. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see you in the audience. I have an ensemble part. It's not a real big part, but that's all right. I'm happy with that because sometimes at this age, at my advanced age of 70, it's hard to remember all the words and the lyrics. So I'm happy to be a little more in the background. But we did Hair a year ago. That was the first production we did. And that was very exciting because it was Hair by those who lived it. And indeed, I was 20 years old when Hair came out, and it was the music of our life at that time, young people. There weren't as many choices with little devices and things in your ear, and everywhere you go, you could have, 5,000 songs at your fingertips. So Hair was the music of that era and that time. And I was a hippie with, hair down to there and my beads. I'm still wearing my beads, but I don't have all my hair anymore. Oh,
You
you're
want to
showing.
you want to show this one? I want to
Yeah,
show this
so
one.
this I
is
got on Facebook. You can order these books of your photos on Facebook,
Oh.
and they're real fun.
fun.
They were
Oh,
about
this one we-
$25. But
okay.
again, I know everybody has their photos on their little phones, but I like to have hard copy. There's me in one of my hats. I go to a lot of gallery openings.
You should like a movie. You look like a movie star for me. Okay, every different clothes you wear is like show you personality.
Yeah, we
So
have
awesome.
different looks. We like, and this is by a local artist, Daphne
Yeah.
Coop, who
Oh,
creates
that's
the
amazing
necklace
jewelry.
is all stones from the North Shore, and she gathers them. Her husband cuts them, and then she puts them together. And so, with a lot of artists, what I do is barter some of my jewelry for some of theirs.
Yeah. That's
And
cool.
like I said at the beginning, I love to wear adornment. And this is my daughter that we are talking about, Alexis.
This is Indian. This is American Indian. I love American Indian
Oh, I
culture.
love to go to powwows.
I love.
We're very blessed that we have a lot of powwows.
Oh, this mushroom. This poison mushroom here.
I don't know. I didn't eat
don't
it.
know.
I just took a picture.
Just take a picture.
I love going to the North Shore. It's just
This is Chinese.
fabulous.
Chinese. Oh, really?
Here's me with adornment, lots of rings. And those, my son-in-law used to be a photographer, so he took all those pictures of me.
Cool. Cool.
Um,
You're not
this is
shy at
great.
all when you take a picture.
no,
You take a picture like. Okay.
no, I'm not shy. That's why I can get up on stage.
So we
in
have
front of
7
people.
minutes left. What do we talk? And
Well, you're the interviewer. You come up with a
No,
question.
I'm not.
We've talked about very personal things. We've
Yeah.
talked about the work that
Yeah.
I've done. We've talked philosophy of life,
yeah.
reincarnation,
Yeah.
and
What else we should talk?
well, let's talk about China.
We can talk about coronavirus. We talk about that.
Ooh, yeah.
Ugh. What do you think? Because China wear mask. Everybody wear mask. But here we can't even buy mask. But nobody wear anyway. So, if you're sick, you just stay home. But people here no wear mask. If you're healthy, wear mask.
No, but in
how
China
about,
they wear them all the time because of the smog too and the
Yeah.
air pollution.
But how about if happen here, in Minnesota, and what do we? And the government says you should buy much food you can. Maybe
Yeah,
like
stock up.
Maybe 2 weeks at least. Nobody listen.
I don't know if that's really going to help. It's like in the 50s when they had
Yeah.
those air raid shelters.
Yeah.
If the nuclear bomb drops, we
Right.
all run down to a little room in our basement where we've got food. And of course, we know that none of that
Yeah.
will really work. I mean,
After 1 more month, we will know. Because look like every day grow. Are you scared?
No, I'm not. For 2 reasons. Well, number one, I've had a great life, so if I go tomorrow, that's okay. I'm planning on 31 more years at least. But there will, just like SARS, remember everybody was
Yes.
frightened by SARS.
But in that time, I'm not afraid at all.
And do you think the media sort of wants to scare people? Remember, I don't know if you remember the killer bees from Brazil that were supposed to come up and kill us all with bee stings. And, you know, it's just a natural thing that viruses mutate and are created. Especially, you know, in China where there's so many people, of course, there's all that possibility there of a virus starting there. And look at the people that died of influenza at the turn of the century. You go to the old wonderful cemeteries now and you see young people, old people who died of influenza. And the whole AIDS epidemic was seen as something that was a death sentence. And now people are, you know, living with that, and there are preventative measures to take.
What do you think where this coronavirus come from? Some people think it's from bat and snake, like snake, and people eat those stuff all the time, you know.
Well, because in China you eat all kinds
No,
of things.
not everybody.
No.
Like, I mean, very small person people. Like, ugh, you know, why people eat that? It's crazy. I hate that.
One time,
I don't even can see that.
in China, when I was walking through the market, which I love to go to markets, there was a whole little dog all wrapped in twine and roasted.
Oh, I feel so sorry. I feel shameless.
Gone.
I feel shame when you know when I hear that people eat everything in China, and so some people think from animals, right? The wild animals you should not eat. You know, sometimes I just feel the earth is so beautiful, but the people are so asshole. Some people, right? We do
They're
a lot
what?
of asshole.
Asshole, you could say that? Okay. Well, yeah, we're not protecting our environment and honoring it and respecting it like we should.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
We do a lot of bad things. So that is the one thing. And other people think in China, Wuhan, that's where the coronavirus is from. But it's like really close, maybe, I don't know how many miles, but very close. They have P4. Do you hear that? Okay. If you don't hear that, I'm not going to say. Zip.
Well,
so like
people who have
army.
been to China have no idea how many people there are. What's the population of China now? Do you have
population?
Population. How many people are in China?
14 billion.
Yeah, that's amazing. So we would go to these little towns.
Yeah.
And there'd be 1 million people in a little town, you know?
I know, right.
I mean, the whole concept of numbers of people and population is so different in China than it is here. So. All right, now here's the part we have to edit out again. We'll have to edit this segment.
We sing.
It's not the pale moon that excites me, that thrills and delights me, oh no. It's just the nearness of you. It isn't your sweet conversation that brings this sensation, oh no. It's just the nearness of you. And I sing all my love songs now to my grandsons. When I think of my love songs, I think about them. You know, like My Funny Valentine. And all those songs, I now picture them in my mind and have them in my heart when I sing.